What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Bingetown TV and our coverage of Jujutsu Kaisen. So this is going to be episodes 17 and 18. 17 was titled Thunderclap Part 2, and then 18 was Right and Wrong. So 17 gives us the conclusion of, I guess, whatever Thunderclap you want to, whatever reason it was called Thunderclap, I guess you could say. It's kind of
Those
the conclusion
cheeks.
of, yeah, there you go, of Sukuna basically thunderclapping everybody's cheeks. And then Right and Wrong gets us into the aftermath of that and into some more, somehow more unfortunate circumstances. So obviously, we are just going to take them one episode at a time. They're pretty clean cut between the two of them, two separate conversations. Um, we have talked offline, the three of us, and I guess a little bit maybe on the podcast about the kind of animation quality. We've talked about the animation quality for sure on the podcast. We've talked offline about the reasons behind that, and we know that Mappa as a company has just treated their animators pretty terribly with scheduling and all that kind of stuff. We've seen complaints on the internet from the animators themselves. They were saying that this was like pretty much almost like 30% done. I would say it looks amazing for 30% done, but obviously that's kind of the elephant in the room is like the animation quality on this Sukuna versus, and I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation, but Maharaga fight. But yeah, I think we could just literally talk about the whole episode, literally everything we want.
I mean, yeah, the elephant in the room being the animation quality is a little bit down. I texted, especially for episode 18. I think that's when people were starting to freak out. Like, okay, the quality is going to severely decrease at 18. Like, they barely got 17 out, and now 18 is like coming into question on whether the animation is going to be good or not. I know I'm jumping the gun because we're supposed to be talking about this episode, but 18 at least. Yes, it wasn't like great, but it wasn't a drop off for me that took away from what was actually happening in the episode. I thought regardless in both episodes the animation was just enough for me to still enjoy the episodes without having to worry about the animation. um that being said, obviously episode 17 was just pure action. Well, so
Yeah.
was 18, but 18 was a little bit more emotional action. So
Mm-hmm.
17 was just incredible. I guess that was like we'll just get right into it with I don't even have his name written down, but whatever Kyle said, Mahagoro.
Yeah.
It's just his last resort, I'm guessing, is Megumi's last resort.
Yeah, I think it's his
Yeah.
last it's his last Shikigami.
Mm-hmm. And how did this one acquire Shikigami again?
So he
It's his
explains it a little bit
technique.
here, but yeah, it's essentially like when you get the ten paths technique or the 10 shadows, you get the two demon dogs. That's like your technique realizing itself, and then you have to use the dogs to then exercise other Shikigami along the way. You can summon Shikigami almost whenever you want. It just is a matter of do you exercise them or not. So this one has just been never been exercised in the history.
Okay.
So they have a conversation too here, an interesting conversation with it's a flashback and it's Gojo and Megumi talking, and Gojo explains to him why the Gojo clan and the Zenin clan hate each other, and it was like a fight, however many years ago, thousands, whatever you want to say, and it was someone with the six eyes and the limitless technique like Gojo has, and the Shikigami sorcerer has the same technique that Megumi has. They fought, and then Megumi in this fight is like, "Oh, I'm gonna summon this like this insane Maharaga character. Like this must have been how like the Zenin guy fought against the Limitless and six eyes character, because like obviously that technique we know is broken."
Right.
Yeah. The that Shikigami is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah,
Sukuna is an animal and all of it's insane, but I have to say, dude, as a reader, seeing it realized so poorly, it fucking bothered me.
yeah,
It
it's
upset
unfortunate.
me. I mean, it was like scribbles. Like it
I mean,
reminded me of
you're right.
like One, how he makes the One Punch Man, and then the other illustrator comes in, and the official release is
Mhm.
like the nice, clean cut panels, blah blah blah. I mean, it was like that. And don't get me wrong, the story is there. All of it is still so intense and strong as like the content. wise. But I am so disappointed in Mappa. Like, how, as a studio, do you not prioritize the quality and of the product?
Mhm.
You know, I mean, this is like one of the hottest animes right now. I mean, it's so hot, up there with the biggest names, at least 2 seasons out, and they're botching it. Like, I expect them to go back and update these, like, and fix them. I mean, they better.
We'll
That
see
would be
about that.
interesting for sure. It's
I
also it's pretty wild that like I went and reread the chapters for this, and the fight in the chapters is not very long. I
That's what
mean,
I'm saying. It's
they
they
like went
elaborate it.
they went all out to try to make this like an insane fight, and I feel like if they had the time, this could have been one of the greatest JJK episodes ever.
The storyboard elaborates. I mean, they did that with the spoilers, Kaido Luffy fight, right? I mean,
Mhm.
the first clash they had. It doesn't it's just sad to see, and I don't know how bad they got to be treating these people for them not to fucking want to do the work. I mean, it's like, it's crazy, you know. I guess the
I don't think
deadlines
it's
are
that they
super
don't want
tight.
to.
Well,
Yeah,
the
it's the
deadlines are
fact that
tight.
they don't have the debt. I saw on Twitter, and I'm trying to pull up their name, and it was an animator tweeting about it basically, and he said that it's a Chansard Vincent, and he said like 2 years ago, I said I would never work for Mappa again, and then like the director of episode 17 like called him and convinced him to come back, and he like shared like he was doing like watercolor paintings of the scenes and like all this kind of stuff, and he posted like the I guess you could say the raw clip of the 45ish seconds that he animated. It's when Maharaga like ends up in the pool and like the power station thing like falls on him and then he blows the pool up and then Sukuna like does the domain expansion and it looks sick and like it looks awesome. It's just like I guess they didn't have enough time to actually like polish it into like all of the colors and all that kind of stuff. And it just I can't imagine how frustrating that would be to work. Like they're obviously working for weeks and then the episode gets released, it looks like that, and then you get people that are like, this is stupid type of stuff. So it just seems like a terrible situation.
It's crazy how like a few years ago Mappa was like regarded as like one of the best studios, and now that that fall from grace has definitely come a little bit quicker, especially with how they've
No.
fucked up Attack on Titan too. I mean, that's the big one as well.
Yeah.
And
It
Well,
just seems like such a big blemish.
actually, I see a lot of tweets about how they're still on top, and this, and it's like, how can you be on top and,
I think of
be like this?
immediately, I don't even know how to pronounce it.
UFO
Ufotable.
table or
Yeah,
UFO top lay.
yeah.
That's Demon Slayer, right?
Yeah, Demon Slayer. They do the Fate Stay series.
Yeah,
Like
they're
they are
good.
just by far, when I think of like clean
Yeah,
animation, that is like
they're the
what you
best.
want to aspire to. But
Yep.
regardless, I still think the fight was like incredible. I never not get excited seeing Sukuna using his slashing ability. It's just so
Yeah.
badass when he's like in the building and he's just like sending out these like shock waves of slashing and it's just fucking up the Shikigami. It's just like so intense. Like he is the man. He's so cool.
I
And
was just laughing the whole time.
we've got to be what we already said, like 15 fingers in. So this is about
Yeah.
I don't even want to embarrass myself with the percent, but either
Don't
way,
worry.
he's like not even close to full strength still,
Yeah.
and it's just he's like just molly-whopping bitches out here, and
He really wasn't even challenged.
yeah, he still hasn't. I don't think has been challenged yet at all. I mean, except for Gojo episode 1, but that he only had one
Yeah,
finger.
one finger.
Yeah,
Mahoraga is stronger
This
than
thing is
Jogo.
great.
What do you think?
oh, I think so. I mean,
Jogo?
Yes.
Yeah, I would say so.
I would say so too. I mean, I don't think Jogo pushed Sukuna.
Yeah,
Who
he didn't
pushed
really.
Sukuna to this point?
Yeah, he didn't acknowledge Jogo's strength in the level. I would say that he acknowledged the strength of this thing.
Yeah, I
Um.
just wonder again if we're gonna see this thing again. I forget honestly. It's been 2 weeks now since I've seen the episode. Did he do like a finishing blow on it? Did it just kind of disintegrate? Did it disappear?
They don't really show it. They show the wheel
I
disappear.
guess I'm assuming it dies because don't Megumi's she like they all like the dog dies or do this like
So he says at the start essentially, or when they're kind of talking about it, it might be in the narration where
yeah.
he locks the blonde haired dude into the ritual with him. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, like they're doing the ritual and
He's
the
got to break the ritual.
the Shikigami sorcerer has to be the one that exercises him, or like it's a moot point. It doesn't really matter what happened. It's useless essentially. So like Sukuna exercising it doesn't mean anything.
Okay.
It didn't like he's not like gone forever. He's not like under Sukuna's control. It's not under Megumi's control. It's just kind of like a moot point type of thing. At least that's the way I interpreted it.
But
I was a
also,
little upset when I read the chapters because in this they have like the wheel just kind of clatter and turn to black. But in the manga, like Sukuna like walks out of the smoke like holding the wheel, and it just like looks badass. But that's kind of just a small nitpick. Doesn't really matter.
it was like for the ritual to complete, Megami was gonna pretty much die, is how I understood. And he's like, I need to, in order for me to save Megami, was for me the only way I'm going to save him right now, so this guy doesn't die, because he has taken a liking to Megami, and obviously this fucking thing must be a reason why he's taken a liking to him. He said, if I don't stop it, he's gonna die, and it's not happening on my watch. So that's why he also saved the blonde haired dude. Right? I'm not misinterpreting. This is all true,
No, that's
right?
yeah.
So
Because if the blonde haired dude died, then the ritual would have ended, and Megami would have died. Like actually died.
right,
He was
exactly.
dead.
But
He just wasn't like fully dead.
Right.
With the blonde haired dude?
No, Megami was
Megami.
dying.
Oh, but at the end, the blonde haired dude is like, once Sukuna was done with him,
Yeah.
then okay, yeah, should have opened this all up by saying fuck this guy, because he just
He's
he had
the
the
worst.
hard opening. Yeah, he's just like, oh, you were just so strong a second ago, but now that you're all beat up, like I can come in here and just like finish you off. And it's like, did you not learn anything from Nanami just like 10 minutes ago or whatever? And of course, Megumi's just like crawling, giving the speech of his power, and I still think that's hilarious that they get boosted by just explaining the powers. It's cool.
I like the little like runway too that the dogs make. They're all like howling as it gets summoned. I thought that all that looked really cool. His curse technique, the blonde haired guy, we talked about it a little bit. I just think I like it too because he doesn't know what it is at all.
That was going to be my other comment, is that I'm pretty sure we last left off with his power being explained as even he doesn't know how it fully works. And now it doesn't even matter how it fully works because he's dead as bricks.
Well, yeah. It's just like pure. It's just like luck, and I like the markings on the, because if you go back and watch, like the markings under his eyes change.
Yeah. I think it's so cool, the tidbit about the last time the limitless technique, like the big battle between Megami's power and the limitless technique hundreds of years ago, whenever it was, and how it was this historic battle, and the only way it ended with Mahoraga being summoned, and I don't remember if they elaborated on the result of the clash, but
they do.
Okay, well, quickly just say what happened, and then I want to continue.
So that's what's interesting, is that the anime does not, but in the manga they both, he says they both kill each other.
Okay. Yeah, okay. That's why I was a little confused, because I'll be honest, I didn't read that. I forgot in the manga what exactly happened. But anyway, it just puts some respect on Megami's power and the Zenin clan, like, so much, because pretty much up until now, Gojo and the Gojo clan have been regarded as the strongest, and Limitless is unbeatable. And it's just really interesting that while they both died, I mean, it was something rivaled Limitless.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder why Sukuna is interested in Megami, and the whole time I'm wondering, like, is Sukuna stronger than Gojo? Like, what do you think, Dave?
Now?
Yeah, just in general. Oh yeah, full strength.
Full strength.
Gojo does say episode 1 that he would win.
Well,
obviously he's gonna.
Was that against? Did he say if he ate all 20 of his fingers? I thought it was specifically like even at 10, I would easily win, is what he said. Okay, so if it was that, then I was gonna say Gojo anyway. But it's tough, man. It's tough. They're easily just like tiers and tiers, echelons above anybody else. I don't think Toji was the next closest. He's dead.
Yeah.
And then it does. And then
Geto. Well, I guess the pseudo Geto.
His power works similar to Megumi's, right? Kind of like he summons.
It's cursed spirits instead of Shikigami.
Okay, that's what it is, right?
He collects, he exercises them, and then he obviously consumes them.
Yeah, obviously Geto's main point is like his intelligence, or the pseudo Geto's his main intelligence. Because obviously, I think if Geto and Gojo were just put in a field 1-on-1, there's no it lasts a second.
It's fair.
But we don't know about
it's not-
Ghetto's good domain or
I
anything
think
yet,
Ghetto
do
would
we?
even probably. I'm trying to think of like him versus Toji. I think either way, it's those four for me. Like it doesn't even come close. I think.
I love that Toji makes it in there.
I mean, obviously he does. I think
I know. It's just
it's yeah.
I need that fucker to come back, bro.
I know.
again.
Yeah, I would love that, but there's just no way. Maybe just after JJK is all said and done, we get a Toji.
I want Toto to come back, right? That's his name.
Yeah, Toto. He'll be
Yeah.
back. He'll be back. What has
That
he
was-
actually been doing this whole time?
They haven't
Some
shown
played
him.
ping pong last. Yeah, it's about
Uh,
it. But speaking of like the strongest character, I mean, I feel like obviously you have to add in Maharaga as just like a being of high strength. And it's interesting that Sukuna says like if it was the me back then, I would be struggling. And I didn't when I watched, I was like, I don't know exactly what he means by that. And then I think it's a little bit more explicit in the manga because of the like hand signal that Megami does with like the two fists on top of each other. And if I'm not mistaken, and I could be because I didn't go back to confirm this, this is just kind of memory for me. When in like season 1, when Sukuna first takes over with like the cursed womb thing and he starts to fight Megami, and Megami's like beat up, he is about to summon the Maharaga to like do the same type of thing of like, okay, like if you're gonna kill me here, like I'm just gonna kill you too, essentially.
Interesting.
Like by summoning this thing. And so yeah, I think that's Sukuna's thinking back to like season
Oh.
1 with like only what 1 or 2 fingers. Like if that was this version, he probably would be obviously faring a lot worse.
And
That's
it wasn't
sick.
it in
That's
that
definitely what
moment.
it means.
Wasn't it in that moment too? He was like first was just like whoa to Megami.
And I think that's also why he takes like an interest in him, I think.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, that's where I'm going.
Or at
Wow.
least part of it, yeah.
It's great that you
That's
brought
cool.
up that scene too, because I actually saw something also on Twitter. So referring to last episode of the fire arrow that Sukuna does,
He does it
in
again
that
here, too.
fight, that cursed womb attempts to do that move essentially. So basically what they're saying is that that finger was in the cursed womb, and that's why the cursed it was a failed attempt at it wasn't nearly perfected like Sukuna's was, but he does do an upside down like arrow pullback in that episode. And I was like, that is just so cool that they're bringing that back because I think did we even talk about on the last podcast that each finger is different? Like all 20 of the fingers aren't the same finger. They each did we not bring that up?
I don't think
well then I'm gonna bring that up right now too then, because I saw a tweet too that showed a paused image of all the fingers being unraveled, and they were all different elements essentially, which I thought was just
that's interesting.
So cool.
Like
one has
that even out of the manga.
Oh, if you look it up, it's so cool. Like one of them is like grassy, one of them's like crystal, one's magma.
Oh shit. Okay.
So they're each like different elements, and I'm assuming that the cursed womb from back, it's all tied together essentially.
So like by consuming that finger, he now can use that technique.
Who consumed it?
What do you mean?
Who consumed it and tried to draw the bow? Like
the cursed womb. Like the cursed womb was the finger, right? Like they kill the cursed womb and they pull the finger out. It had the cursed womb in it. Like they're saying, the people are saying that.
Oh, like in the first episode.
Like they're saying that technique was embellished into that finger, and the cursed womb.
That's interesting.
Had that finger, and that's why he was able to do that technique. But Sukuna obviously does it to a way better degree.
That's awesome. I've literally never heard that in my life, and I could be easily me just probably reading too fast. But
yeah, honestly, if I'm unless it was like a fake fan art image, which I don't think it was, because it felt like it was a paused image of the fingers from the episode. They're all different.
I love the idea of that.
Let's pull it up. I'll pull it up.
Yeah, I love the idea. Of that.
But the other thing I'll say about this fight as well is I thought it was so funny. It's fucked up, but like the plane that's coming from the sky,
random. Yeah.
It was so random, but I mean, it does emphasize everyone is just fucked. Like I'm thinking, I've seen that plane falling down. I'm just like, how many lives have been killed in just this arc alone?
So many.
Oh my god,
so many. I mean, and that's like a perfect kind of segue into like the end of the episode, which is just Sukuna kind of he gets Megami to the principal and their nurse healer, who I feel so bad that I don't remember what her name is, and then he runs away again, and he essentially is like overlooking all of the devastation from his from his domain expansion, which literally obliterated everything because he just keeps using all of the techniques in just like rapid succession so that Mahoraga can't possibly adapt to all of them because it has the most busted technique ever that it can just adapt to anything, give it enough time. And Yuji just, I guess, kind of regains control and it's just overlooking all of the devastation. And they made such a point to go to like all the different buildings are all busted up, and they showed so many people dying low key throughout the fights, and it was just like, oh my god, there's just like at least like 100,000 people. It feels like have died in the last like 25 minutes.
The pain that I felt for Yuji, man, and it sucks that we had to wait a week for the opening of episode 18 because I thought that would have actually paralleled really well with what had just happened in the most recent episode, how he's kind of just wandering Shibuya with all the thoughts of legitimately all of his experiences that we've seen on camera, with his grandfather, his last words, and even old Sukuna words, literally everybody, everyone's talking to him, and it's just people, his culmination of people are going to die to protect you, people are going to sacrifice themselves, but there are going to be bystanders. It's so fucked up. And the I question the decision to play the song at the end. I mean, like, I get it, I guess, kind of, but I think it would have been a little bit better if it was like not a banger of a song playing in the background. Like, I just, at this point, I've already way attached myself to that song being just a bop, and
that's so funny.
So
just
I can't
really take you out of like the emotional weight of
of
what you were just experiencing.
It took me a little bit out of it, but I will say though, and to kudos to the voice actor too, because I've seen the videos of him legitimately doing that scene. He was actually also on all fours.
Wow.
Basically as if he was being filmed doing that scene. And that's awesome. What kind of, I saw that scene actually, unfortunately, before I saw the end of the scene, but that helped me stay in the emotional mindset of like, I can just picture this guy just on the ground, like doing the same thing Yuji's doing and really bringing out his all. And so kudos to the voice actor. He absolutely crushed it here, I thought. Did you get confirmation, by the way?
I couldn't find it. I have to go into
like the actual episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can talk about it off the pod. Maybe we'll come back next episode and we'll either confirm or deny. I just, one of my favorite,
I think, whole conversation,
somewhat low key themes of Yuji's character, just like as a main character for the series, of like his kind of drive of like, what's a good way to die? Like, how do I utilize my life in the best way while I'm here? Like, and then the fact that like he is already worrying so much about those things, and then he gets thrust into like the Sukuna power being inside of him, which is like the worst thing ever. Because like he's so empathetic and like introspective and all of this kind of stuff, and then he just gets forced to be taken over by this like literally the embodiment of evil, and it just goes on a sprees and rampages. It's just like, it's such an interesting, I guess, as a viewer, selfishly, like psychological dilemma for him. It's one of my favorite, more underrated parts, because it's easy to fall in love with all the fights and the techniques and stuff, but I love that part of the series for sure.
I'll tell you what, I fucking love Sukuna, bro. He steals every scene.
My only last comment on this, at least episode in particular, is while Sukuna and the Shikigami are fighting, he makes a comment. He says, "You're similar to Yamata no Orochi," which if you know anime, that's a reference to like the eight-headed serpent, right? Obviously it's in One Piece, the reference and things like that, but that's just it. I mean, he makes a comment saying you're similar to Yamata no Orochi, as in like, I guess I took it as he fought Orochi, and he's considering this being as strong as that being.
It has to do too with the wheel. So there's 8 spokes on the wheel, and like the Mahoraga is based off of like a Buddhist deity that's like a serpent as well, with like
you got to kill all 8 heads
that represents harmony type of deal. So I think it has to do with the wheel itself, but also I don't think there's anything.
I forget the story of
maybe he needs to be defeated multiple times.
I forget the story of how Susanoo slayed Orochi. I think regardless, it might have been like all heads cut off at the same time, and so maybe he had to do 8 devastating blows at one time. Who knows? But okay, that makes more sense. I just thought he was referencing like an actual being that he fought in the past, but he's just saying
Yeah,
The
I don't know
idea,
if
the
that's
concept
even.
is of the Orochi, I think.
Yeah, I think I don't know if there being a being is not a thing. I think that the idea of the reference and the lines in this context is just talking about like the wheel and the eight spokes and like how it kind of
Right,
how
right, right.
how it kind of is a manifestation of his power to adapt.
hmm
I think that's was the point.
No, I think you're dead
Yeah,
on with that.
could be
Um,
wrong though.
the last comment I have, I thought I had one last. I thought I was on my last one, but I actually have one more. Is I saw some video because you know how like all the girls are like fangirling over Sukuna, and like the counter argument is like, oh, like he's like 16, like he's in Yuji's body, he's like 16, whatever. But like I saw an image someone did of this episode, but Sukuna doesn't have the facial
Mm-hmm.
scars or markings on him, and he looks completely different than Yuji. It's not just Yuji with markings, like it's legitimately an entirely different person. It's actually really cool how they
That's actually
draw
interesting.
that out to make it so that yes, he still looks like Yuji, but even it's not at the same time. So I
Yeah,
just
he looks like older and more powerful. I bet.
oh, he legitimately looks like he's like yeah, in his late 20s, just wise beyond his years, just
That's
strong as
crazy.
shit. Yeah. So
That's a good
That's
idea. That's a
cool.
fun little detail. Yeah.
and then of course that fucking blonde-haired bitch gets what he deserves and gets perfectly sliced like in half.
Yeah, yeah, that was good. When he's like, "Oh, like I'm still alive," and then
Yeah, his luck had
so
run out. Love that.
all right. So moving into episode 18, we talk about somebody's luck running out. I don't even know if you would call it luck, more like their life running out. But we meet up with the legend himself, who Dave correctly predicted was not dead after his interaction with Jogo in episode, what was that,
Yeah.
potentially 14
I didn't
or
expect him to
15.
actually die though. I was fucked up. I was fucked
And
up.
yeah, I mean, so we're reunited with Nanami. I think that we can talk about everything up until like I guess Yuji and Mahito fighting. I was just everything Nanami centric. Just I thought they did it beautifully. I thought it's honestly better in the manga. It's the same thing. Like he's like thinking about retirement and he's like thinking about Malaysia and all that kind of stuff.
I
And
thought
then he
that was,
battles out.
I would never like, you think of retiring and he's just like, Malaysia.
Well,
It
they're in
just,
Japan.
I know that's what's made me laugh. It's a culture shock. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
like we would have said, Hawaii, like the
Yeah.
average
yeah.
American,
That's
and
true.
they're like, Malaysia. It was funny to me.
But they did a good job, I thought, with like the scenes moving back and forth, and like this was like I think a good expounding on what happened in the manga. It's emotional. It's fucking and the way it goes out is insane. So I just any comments we want to talk about.
Just that I just didn't think he was going to die. I thought he was going to be too important to the story for us to move on from him. So this was like obviously at the start of the episode, seeing him like that, I kind of figured he was going to die, but obviously at the end of last episode or whatever it was when he gets burned, I'm just like, okay, he got quick burn, maybe he survives it, someone protects him and he doesn't take that much damage, but then you see him and it's like, okay, he's definitely done for. And I mean,
It's
just what a
fucked up.
yeah, just what a badass. I mean, Nanami has been an absolutely great character. Just kudos to the anime again for just having just such a unique power. His was certainly unique over time, and he goes out fucking swinging, man. Of course, like
Yeah.
I
He
wouldn't
was
expect
taking out those
I
fuckers.
wouldn't expect anything less from Nanami. He at the end of the day is still trying to do the mission, even though he's always complaining about overtime and being worked too hard. Like this
Yeah.
is his fucking job. He whether or not he will admit it, he likes doing it, and he knows that he has to press on for the younger generation, and he's still out here slaying it.
I like the inner monologue with the that guy.
Yeah. I mean, I literally just read the chapters, and I don't remember him having like that visualization of the character. But yeah, I thought his ending was great. It was so much better, obviously, than like the pure shock value, I guess, of Jogo taking him out right there. So, Dave, I think your intuition was definitely correct to like believe that he wasn't dead right there.
Mm-hmm.
That would have
Yeah.
been some BS. I can't even imagine how much pain he was in.
Oh my god.
Oh,
He has
dude.
no left eyeball, like his whole left side. It would have been crazy if he lived and like to see the character design moving forward.
He's just Two-Face. I mean, he looks like Harvey
Yeah,
Dent.
like
He's literally Harvey Dent.
you could have, I think, a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, but
Oh,
they
wow,
could
yeah,
have.
he does look
I'm
exactly like Harvey
upset
Dent.
there was nobody around that could have revived him with their technique or something. But that's too
After what
easy.
Mahito did to him.
No, dude. After he was
before,
burned.
before.
I was gonna say, 'cause I don't know if there's any coming back to what Mahito did to him.
God, I just
Bro, that was sad. Actually,
Yuji,
see him
man.
transform like that.
feel so bad for Yuji because again, like we were just saying, he was going
Yeah.
through like all the
He's
memories
having all
of,
these thoughts, as he's
Yeah.
walking down the hallway.
Yeah, and the callback, like you guys are saying, to honestly, I'm sorry, I forget his name, but that was an interesting callback. Kind of, it's cool just because it does emphasize their relationship still, and that Nanami still to this day thinks about him. But Yuji,
It was
man,
cool
just
too when he was like, "I can't think that way because like I don't want to put a curse on him."
yeah,
So
Right.
like that, like the manifest, like the mechanics of the world. That's just like interesting to think about.
dude,
And then he goes,
yeah. I pass it on
you
to
gotta
you,
do it, bro.
basically.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
does,
we
he does his
got
job.
did we get his backstory all the way fully fleshed, Nanami's in the anime?
Mm.
I mean,
We must have in season 1, if I'm
we
honest.
did the whole shopping thing where he
Mhm.
goes to that one store over and over again. He meets her, kind of finds his purpose in life. He used to be an accountant or whatever. Hated his
Fake.
job because it was either corrupt or it was just boring to him. And then
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we get it. I think a lot in the first Mahito fight.
Because he wanted to. We know that like he started as a jujutsu sorcerer, then he was like,
oh, then he quit.
Then he
Yes,
quit.
quit.
Yeah,
and that's when he became
because
an accountant.
his classmate in this manifestation was saying like I came back, like I wasn't, I could have been having like a normal life, but I came back and
Yeah, I
this
chose
is what
to do
happened.
this.
Yeah, I chose to do this.
Yeah.
I just thought it was cool because he was always like his whole power surrounds his for lack of a better thing, work life balance.
Mhm.
How you know what I mean, and it's literally that.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it is revealed that despite his feelings, he knew that he needed to rise above, step up. When he had to step up to the plate, he did.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it cost him his life. But his death is going to serve as a pretty monumental stepping stone for Yuji, Dave.
Oh, I mean,
And
I
that's
can already
obviously the
tell.
point,
Yeah.
because it's while he was having that crazy, all of those events that Sukuna was responsible for came rushing and flushed his mind. The Nanami death was obviously the icing on the cake, but it was also what snapped him back and realized he needed to fucking get into it with Mahito, who's a little fucking bitch, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I fucking hate Mahito in like a great way. I mean, he's just a villain that I love.
I like his whole demeanor, like his like kid attitude, and he's like laughing about murdering people. Like, I don't know.
I like it,
it's
but
funny.
I hate it. Yeah, no, you're right. It makes him a very unique character, but it's just Yuji is feeling it, and he's like, "What the hell are you, Mahito?" And he's like, "Don't shout at me." And I'm like, I fucking hate you, but like it's like that childish lore that you're talking about, that it just like it does make him just way worse of a villain to me and more of an interesting character, I guess, because he is a child still, I guess. He's probably in his teens now in regards to spirits.
I think actually he was the most mature we've seen him so far.
Oh, 100%. And
he's probably like a late teen, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, to open the fight too, like Yuji's pissed and he's gonna run in, and of course he flings the morphed people that are all screaming save me, and Yuji's helpless. And
classic, absolutely classic.
I mean, I don't blame him. They're still alive. I mean, of course to his knowledge, they're unsalvageable, so you got to do what you got to do. But then he's killing more people, but this time it's not Sukuna killing more people, it's Yuji killing more people.
Yeah,
so complicated.
It seems like
man.
he does turn in a bit of a corner here, because again, he has like Nanami's words in his head, and he starts, I guess you could say, almost stops giving a fuck a little bit during this fight, where he's like punching the bodies that are thrown at him, the huge worm thing. He just kind of fucks that thing up.
So cool.
I don't think he actually kills any of. I didn't notice him like actually slice something, or
I didn't notice either. I might be saying that, but it's still like a
he's still like, yeah,
it's holding him back.
Yeah,
it's holding him back.
He's pushing through it.
Yeah, exactly. Like if he's not only does he have to fight Mahito, now he also has to think about, oh, do I want to punch the shit out of
It's
this.
a technicality. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
100%.
yeah.
What I was going to say is, what did you guys think of the animation versus the previous episode?
Better.
Okay, that's what I thought
thought it was
too.
better.
I thought that's what I thought so too.
Yeah, I agree for sure.
I guess
It's
17
also
must have been the one that
yeah,
really just felt the full flames of this whole protest.
I think I don't know anything about animating and cartooning, but it seems like because the setting of the last episode was in the city, there's a lot of background, there's a lot of
Which is- I mean, it was-
destruction.
yeah, all action.
You know what I'm saying? This one was more controlled. It's in the subway. I guess it was a little easier for them to animate. I have no idea. Maybe somebody in the comments,
Well, I think it
whatever,
was
can elaborate on that if they have experience. But
that I think the setting helps, and also I feel like the first 10-ish minutes isn't like a ton of hardcore action like the last episode was.
True, so they have
there's a
more
lot of, like,
time.
Konami. Yeah, I feel like it might be easier to get that stuff out of the way.
I have been seeing
Quote,
tweets that
unquote,
it does seem like anime studios will cut corners when they can in order to buff the good moments. So if they weren't able to cut any corners on the last episode, they just had to put it out basically. We definitely either way. I'm
Yeah.
glad you guys agree because I
This was
thought
still
the same
another
thing
good fight,
too.
though.
Because I think Alki was
Yeah,
you.
it was-
After I watched the episode first, Alki texted me like, "How did you feel about the animation?" I was like, honestly, I didn't feel a drop off in quality. If anything, it felt better, and I didn't notice it.
Yeah, 18 felt fine to me.
I if you're talking about this cutting corners detail, that's pretty cool. Because remember we were talking about the grasshopper fight, and we were talking about how it was like the
The
what is
ghosting.
the ghosting? Thank you. Well, that's probably one example that they were like, I'm gonna do this so that later on I can really show some epic moments.
Yeah, I'm sure it just frees up effort.
I think Mahito is really strong, and they're what is he? They're transfigured humans, right?
Mhm.
When they're in the little form, are they cursed wombs?
No, I think they're still like just transfigured. I think he
Yeah.
just like
I feel like
carries
he
like
has a lot of
plethora-
control. Yeah,
He just meant,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Well, like after seeing Gojo burn down fucking Tokyo, sorry, Jogo burn down Tokyo, like, don't you think that how strong, who's
Yeah.
stronger is my question.
right. Like, are you saying like is Yuji
Feels
at
like
that
Jogo
point where
is.
he could have?
It feels like right now Jogo is, that's what I'm
In
saying.
terms
and-
of the cursed spirits.
yeah,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm surprised that Mahito is like the villain of the arc.
But again, that probably goes into what you're saying in terms of just Jogo's power is legitimately destruction. Like magma is gonna, whereas Mahito's ability is more like it's a smaller scale power that it only affects humans.
And it is little more, yeah, it's more intricate.
But
and it's personal. It's
Yeah.
Yuji. It's like
Right.
pretty much an exact mirror on Yuji's principles, his ideas about how he should live his life, and Mahito flies in the face of literally everything that Yuji wants to be.
Mhm.
Wow, that's pretty cool that
So-
you mentioned. I was about to say, Kyle, on the same other side of that same coin, it also parallels his development. Both of them are kind of new, right? Mahito's a
Mhm.
little child, and Yuji's brand new to all of this whole world, and they're both kind of like I can't move my mic out of my mouth. They're coming to a point together.
Mhm.
They're reaching the same. They're climbing the mountain on opposite sides, and they're gonna
Yeah.
reach the top, and then somebody's gonna come out on top.
I mean, it's very tropey.
It's
I
pretty
mean,
cool.
I like that. That's what I kind of liked about My Hero as well. I mean, that was one of the good things about My Hero too, is that we have our main character and then we have our main villain who they're two sides of the same coin. They're the same but they're different. It's just
Yeah.
same but
Same
different.
Yeah.
Is that a
Uh,
inside joke from other
No,
pods?
that's
The game?
the
Is it?
interview. The interview,
The
the
interview,
movie with
yeah.
James
Oh
Franco.
yeah.
He gets off the plane. He's like same
but different.
I wanted to I was thinking that Mahito would definitely get smoked by Jogo and I'm jumping a little, but until you realize he made a clone of himself, like that's pretty
Yeah,
freaking
I forgot about that.
that's
That is-
pretty fucking nuts. Like
It's
that's
are you ever
really
sure
intense.
we're gonna ever be done with this guy? Like Yuji could
That's what
come
I'm
out of this
saying.
fight and just be like, I won.
Yeah,
And then
that's
it's
a
like,
good
ah,
point.
shit, there's Mahito walking down the street.
Because not only was he able to make a clone, it seems like this one single clone is stronger than all of Naruto's clones.
Yeah, like I think what
Like
Naruto
in
does
terms
the
of like
most.
co how coherent he is, and yeah, his ability to his power, because he's like working. Well, he's not working Yuji, but it's like
He's
very
working him.
good fight. He's kind of working him, and it's, I guess you got to assume 50% of his
Yeah,
full power,
they haven't
right?
talked about if him cloning himself
Yeah, it's hard to
was his
know.
power. I feel like it
It's hard
shouldn't
to know for
because his
sure.
power is just like again,
His
it's
power,
just
it literally is
touching.
about manipulating the soul.
Yeah, so how do you dial that back by 50%? That's not really a thing.
Well, he's
But
splitting it,
I
but
guess, but either way, one thing I also want to say here is just seeing Mahito's powers develop over the courses of all the fights that we've seen has just been such a joy to watch. I mean, going back to when he is getting his ass kicked by Yuji and Nanami, and he's not really being that creative with his powers, to him, becoming a rabbit or whatever the fuck it was in that fight against
Yeah.
he
Yeah, he turns into
flew.
the bird and the
Mekamaru.
fish and the
Yeah,
squirrel
and
and
then
shit.
now we're also seeing how, so not only are those a little bit more defensive maybe and evasive, like we're getting the offensive capabilities here where he can literally turn his hand into a gun that just
That was
fires
sick.
things. Yeah, it's just he's so cool. And then the moment that for me I'm realizing now that Yuji has moved up a tier in combat strength is when him and Mahito just like blow up the worm and they just like walk out it, look at each other. I'm like, okay,
That
Yuji's
was a
definitely
cool scene.
moved up to a higher tier now. Like he's not a, I don't consider him a rookie anymore. Like this is his, he's a full fledged jujutsu sorcerer right now.
Yeah, the only thing he's really lacking is battle experience.
Yeah,
You know,
I think this is going to be, and this will be huge for him in
that's what
terms of
caught
that.
their eye from the
Yeah.
beginning.
He also, I mean, I guess
He's
depending on when
strong.
you want to call it like a weakness or not, he doesn't really have like that killer instinct.
Yuji, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean it goes hand in hand with the killer, with the experience, you
that's
know.
true. He's, I
And
mean, he's good in martial arts. That was one complaint I have about the adaptation from the manga to the anime is like in the scene where like the worms like reducing the space. I get what they were going for. That's just like not how it happens in the manga. It's just like literally straight up. They're just like, all right, we're fucking throwing hands right now. And I just thought that like that it like the visuals of it. I like the idea of like the restricting their space so they have no choice but to like clash in that like small hallway. But I don't know. I thought in the manga it looks way cooler, like just in the light, like they were literally just fucking throwing hands
mhm, right.
without this like extra need to like darken the whole scenery and all that kind of
And
stuff.
he has like the
I,
blades coming through the walls or
yeah, yeah,
whatever.
like all that
Yeah.
stuff. It was just like I don't know. Yuji just literally, and they awesome when they describe it too, because they're like narrating what Yuji's thinking, and like the technique he uses with like when he gets low, like the knee drop, the shoulder drop, the hit drop, and then he fucking comes up with the kick. Like it just looked really cool in the manga. The panels look
Mhm.
sick. So I was like,
It
just
was a pretty dope
personally,
fight in the manga.
yeah, personally, I was a little disappointed. But then they flip it on the other side of like the elevator shit, and
That
like that
was
doesn't, yeah, like that doesn't happen in the manga. So
oh,
all of that stuff,
I figured
yeah,
that
looks
wasn't
fucking
there.
really cool.
It was funny
And
that the elevator opens and Yuji's just like, all right, let me just hop in here. This must be safe.
yeah,
I mean, he works
yeah,
it in his favor, obviously, but I'm like, this
that
has got
was
to be the
cool.
least safe place for you to
That was
possibly be.
cool. Yeah, I
Um,
think my favorite true like my favorite human transformation we've seen is when he makes that guy into the sword and
oh, that was
his head is just like the hill. I thought that was just like he's like, and he's literally saying to Yuji like, "You're not fucking, you don't have a good enough imagination, baby."
oh, that was he is so fucked up, man. He is
Yeah,
so fucked up.
Like
But that
when did he
was
get
so
so
cool.
far ahead of Yuji to be able to go inside the body of those two bystanders?
He runs around the corner and Yuji's chasing him.
who
Well, I
But
knows?
the
guess
thing
in
is,
that
but
he
the
could
thing,
probably shrink himself down to like a fucking
well, no,
ant
well, I was
size.
thinking that, but then I'm also
Yeah.
thinking that what like those could have also technically been like already transfigured
True.
humans that he re-transfigured to look normal.
Yeah, his power's
Didn't
pretty
they?
broken. So
Did they elaborate? He can go. He can turn him back.
Probably. I mean, if he can shape them to however he wants them to look, why would he not have the ability to shape them back
I
to
remember a certain
yeah,
like aspect of it was it's kind of like
beyond the
elasticity
point
in
of
metal.
return?
Like if you bend something too far, like it can return, but it'll be
Messed up.
different.
yeah.
Maybe
Same, but
that
different.
actually is
I think that rings a
that
bell,
actually
right?
does ring a little bit of a
Well,
bell.
even if it
That would
wasn't
make sense.
spoken, even if that hasn't been spoken on, I don't know if
Maybe our girl
it's something that you can infer. I think
yeah, our girl can help us out. I'm sorry.
has she been commenting more?
not recently, but it's
I mean, every episode. We just haven't dropped an episode in 2 weeks.
yeah, it's been
Yeah, where you
been a
at?
couple weeks.
She'll look it up. She knows. Yeah, the last part for me is just moving on to the quick Nobara stuff. If we want to just leave the Yuji in the rearview mirror, any final comments on that?
Nothing.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, there's more to come in that fight, so we'll just have to wait and see. And then just Nobara, just very quickly, I guess this is just obviously a setup for, as they say at the end, this is kind of part of Mahito's plan where he's like, all right, I'll use her to kind of crush Yuji's soul because he knows that Yuji obviously can't. It's very difficult for him to watch people die, even strangers, let alone this person that is close to him. And she balls out a little bit in this scene too. And I love how she says, like, I need to fucking do something in this arc, basically. It's kind of like almost breaking the fourth wall, which I thought was fun.
I am so worried right now. I wouldn't have thought anything of it, but the fact that he's like, I'm going to bring this girl to Yuji to like really show him despair. I'm like, yeah, I can see that happening. And so now I'm like completely worried because Mahito is one that definitely follows through with his promises. And he just
ruined Nami in front of him, and obviously somehow that wasn't enough for him. He's got to bring Nobara into it now.
I'm worried. I'll predict that she doesn't die, but it's not going to be pretty. I don't think what's about to happen.
Some of the best portrayals of like true chaos and evil, I think, in any anime, man. I mean, just like pure menacing attitude and destruction, like
a whimsy at committing
like
massacres.
Murder is no big deal. Like Aizen was pretty fucked up, but he wasn't. I don't know. Like I could never see Aizen doing this kind of shit.
I hate to keep comparing it to My Hero, but it does remind me of
Shigaraki a little bit.
Yeah, like I always thought Shigaraki was a great villain. It's just like you're saying, like it's just getting a little corny where it's at. But Shigaraki, I had always loved as a villain person.
I'm actually very behind in My Hero right now, so I can't talk accurate shit. I'm also
you at least know the arc of Shigaraki, like you know him.
True.
I love
and he was a good embodiment of
qualifier.
evil and like the antithesis of All Might.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm with you.
But this is
Shigaraki's fleshed out. Like Shigaraki is evil, but you find out a lot about him and why he's like this. Like Sukuna, Jogo, fucking Mahito, they just are embodiments of fucking evil.
Yeah, it's in their nature.
It's in their exactly. It's in their nature. It's like normal to them. It's just so interesting.
Yeah.
Yep. But shout out to Nobara. I thought the opening move at the fight was well done with the sign and the hairpin and if it was against anyone else, it would have worked. But obviously, Mahito doesn't really have a brain per se. So in the same way that normal people do. So
what do we got? 6 left.
Oh, what a question! Yeah,
I think season 1 was 24. I'm assuming this one's 24.
We'll
we're at 18.
It's crazy. The ending is going to be insane. It's
been flying by, honestly. I feel like I've been
dude. I was just looking at the list. With us started in July.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's been recorded since July.
It's been 18 weeks, and it does not feel like 18 weeks.
That's crazy, dude.
Pretty crazy.
I mean, it's
only going to get crazier.
It's like football Sundays, man. It's just like every Thursday I have something to look forward to for at least 24 weeks now. I mean, it's going to suck when it's over, but we'll have something else to replace it with.
We obviously hyped up the Shibuya arc. Do you think it's been
no
expectations?
Yeah, I mean, sure, sometimes like hyping up an arc can take away a little bit from it, but I don't think it was gassed up enough. This arc's been
Fuego.
Yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic.
Mark Phillips tweeted like a couple weeks ago. He's like, "How do they just keep making banger after banger after banger? Like it's literally banger."
The
every
manga's
episode.
that way too.
The manga is that way. That's why it's like a home run every fucking chapter. And
like this arc ends, and it's like you're thrown right back into another one. It's like Jesus fucking Christ, I can't even catch my breath.
It's pretty cool in that respect. I struggle with binge reading. Well, I don't struggle with the act of it. I struggle that I read through shit so fucking fast that it doesn't retain. Like I don't retain it, unless I'm like in it. Anyway, so I've been enjoying the watching, and the same thing with Attack on Titan. Like it's just fun to relive things.
Yeah.
Almost like the first time, but not exactly. You know,
dude, where the manga's at right now, I won't say anymore, but
I'm a little behind. I was just about to say,
Christ,
I'm in like 5. I'm like 5. I'm probably like 10 behind.
It's gonna.
I know
break
what's
the
going on
world.
though.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. If whenever this gets animated,
Yeah,
they better
it's-
not. They better be given good deadlines. All I
Go
can
to-
say
Yeah,
about it.
Go to UFO table.
Yeah, yeah. They better
Send
be
it over
treating their
there.
animators right when it gets to that. Because, all right, so that's gonna do it. Episodes 17 and 18, Thunderclap Part 2, Right and Wrong. We'll be back in 2 weeks. We're gonna stick with this 2 episodes per episode style. That'll be Right and Wrong Part 2, which is episode 19, and then whatever the hell they call episode 20, we'll be covering that one as well. So, if you like what you heard, you made it this far. 1, we appreciate you. 2, we love you. 3, subscribing if you haven't is the best way to support us for sure. And then just visiting our website, bingetowntv.com. That's going to give you the easiest way to look at everything we've ever done. So we've covered, Jimmy says 100 plus shows. I trust him. It doesn't sound like a real number, but he says it, so I say it. And it's just a little drop down menu and it shows you all the shows we've covered. It's literally, it's insane. We're doing right now what Invincible we talked about off pod is in like a little bit of a mid-season break, right?
Yes, won't be returning until 2024, but we'll be there.
So since the last episode, there's no episode. The Thanksgiving episode was the last one.
Mm.
Oh,
And they
Well, we
haven't even
covered-
given a specific date yet for when
Oh,
it's
wow.
going to come
Okay.
back.
Well, we
That's
covered the first
ass.
half of that season. So if you're watching that, go check out those episodes. Murder at the End of the World is on FX, I believe, and it's on a streaming service as well that I don't know off the top of my
Hulu.
head. Potentially Hulu. There you go. So if you're watching that, we're covering that. And then Beacon 23 by the genius mind that created Silo, Hugh Howey. And we're covering that show too. That's on Amazon Prime. You can watch that. MGM Plus as well. And yeah, that's what we're working on right now. We got more to come. And if you like what you heard, just stick with us because we're going to keep pumping out content like we have been for the past 3+ years. For the final time of this episode, we are Bingetown TV, and thank you for listening.